I just wanna roll this dope.
Right.
Sip a little here and get sauce, watch me blow this smoke.
Alright.
I just wanna roll this dope.
Right.
Sip a little here and get sauce, watch me blow this smoke.
Alright.
Yeah, I just wanna.
What's going on, y'all, man? It's your boy Sauce God Clutch, and I'm out here with a very special guest today for the culture interview, and his name is Mister Darrell. How you doing, my brother?
Very, very good, man.
You chilling?
How you doing? Yes.
Yeah, chilling. So what's up, man? Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Where you from? You know, where you grew up? What's going on?
From Chicago originally.
Right.
I lived half my life in southern Florida.
Okay.
With my grandma Roxy. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out Grandma Roxy.
Yeah. I was there for 2nd grade and for 6th grade, and now I'm just finishing college out here in Florida now.
What college you go to?
I'm at Full Sail University. This is my last year. So
What you studying?
very excited. Music business.
Music business.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, what, you want to be a manager or something like that?
My whole projected thing one day is to actually become an executive. But right now, I really just like love the act of just like creating content.
Okay.
So although I do music,
So like media?
yeah, just media period. Like I just love media.
Right.
Like I can see myself doing a lot of things with media one day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much the thing.
And the thing is, it's crazy you say media because I, like me being an artist and everything, I see media as like the go-to thing to do because you're gonna always have like service. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna always need to have people needing some type of content made. You know, whether it's like good promotion, good marketing schemes, good good promo video things set up, all that. If you can do that, you get money off of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we want the spotlight, but at the end of the day, where the check at? You know
Exactly. You know, everybody wants to be in front of the stage, and that's fine. If you want to do that for a certain time period of your life, you can. But I mean, this shit, like, honestly, like wrestling in a sense. It's
Right.
like, or like any other sport. It's like, you know, you can be the best running back in your prime, but like, you're going to be a running back when you're 30, 35.
No, you're going to be trying to figure out something else. What's the next thing?
Exactly.
And whatever, then that's a good point you make because when you hit that age or whatever, all that time that was wasted on what you were doing before, can you still take that craft and get on to the next thing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can hit multiple fields if you strategically think, right? Like, if I do this one thing right here, it won't get me just this one job. It can actually lead off into this job, that job. I don't have to be stuck being, like, sad with the same old job. You know, so I can do something new if I wanted to.
Look at that. No, you're watch.
Oh, see the quick with it, boy. Eyes on deck.
But hey, like on some real shit though, I love that. Like I love a door that opens another door. Like I feel like if you walk inside a door and it stopped right there, that was not a door in the first place.
That was not a door in the first place.
That was a fucking trap.
Yup, exactly. You should be able to know that everything that you embark on, anything you embark on, it's gonna open up a door for something new. You know what I'm saying? That's what most people like lack understanding of. But it's all good. You know what I'm saying? They'll figure it out.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
They'll figure it out. So tell me what's going on. You said you be in the West Palm Beach area. What's going on with that?
So basically West Palm Beach area is basically like where my grandma has always stayed at.
Okay.
Pretty much in my family, I don't know. You know how like every family has that one house that's been in the family all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically my grandma's house has just always been like that family, just one house that's always been there.
Right.
And I love that, like on some family shit, I'm a fan favorite of the one house. And I think I went through like some crazy shit like 2 years ago where just like life was just like really rocky.
Yeah, everybody has that time in their life. That's when they start realizing a lot of stuff.
Exactly, yeah. And right now, the time period in which I'm in now is like where things have been like, they've gotten good again.
Yeah.
Like it was fucked up, now it's good again.
Hey, like I said, people go through that. Like sometimes you gotta go through like, the trials and tribulations of your fucked up stages in order to really like recognize your true godliness. You know what I'm saying? Like what your worth is and what you're really capable of doing. When you take yourself out of an aspect of you're not getting the wins that you want and it's nothing but like, I don't call them losses, I call them lessons. You just learn them lessons and finally like, sit down and be like, okay, I gotta do this. You know what I'm saying? It's right in my face. I know it's not working. I gotta make it work. You know what I'm saying? Do it,
Yeah, because sometimes things fall apart. Shit really be falling in place.
Yeah, and even when they fall apart, some things can't fall in place, but you gotta be ready for that. Like even when sometimes it be something that comes to you, be like, dang, opportunity. But am I ready for that opportunity strategically down the road?
I don't know, I forget this guy's name, and I don't want to like try to sound it out and mess it up on camera, but it's Megan Good's husband.
Yeah,
he did like a Breakfast Club interview one time, and he was talking about just something I think Megan Good was doing, and he was talking about just the preparation before you even do it, because like that whole concept of ask and you will receive is real, but when you ask for it, you gotta like actually prep to receive.
Right, yeah, because he's a pastor, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, he's a pastor. Yeah, because I was reading that was like everybody was always giving her like all types of like like BS about it, like you did this before and everything. Now you got a pastor, like how does he get with a female like that. I mean, people change. You know what I'm saying? It probably takes the right person to get that person to change. You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like no pastor is actually a perfect person. I feel like anybody that skilled at like delivering information or wisdom has gone through something.
It has. What makes you think they came out perfect or whatever? Obviously, they went through some shit that made them want to change. You know what I'm saying? They changed the way they think, they changed the way they move, the things that they do. So, of course, like, they're not going to be, you know, they same bad self forever. They wanted more, so they seen it. I guess they finally realized, and they went into it. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, they went to monk mode. That's what I call
monk mode. Wow. Monk mode, hell no.
But they still of the world, you know, because monks, you
can't see them. They be like little Jedi. They be going, they be here and there. So,
alright, good.
You say that well, no, what you was gonna say?
I was gonna say one time in Chicago, I thought I was about to get my ass beat by a monk, cause like my mom, I'm like. My mom's a West African dancer and stuff.
Okay,
Like, I'm really into African culture. So it was one time I had on this like huge like African like suit. And, you know, some of them go all the way down to your ankles. And it looks kind of like the African type like version of monk shit.
My God.
So like I'm walking past this monk and I actually looked at him and I greeted him.
Yeah.
But he looked at me and mugged me.
Oh, whatever he was wearing must have reminded him of something that's just bad in his culture or something.
I'm like, yo, what's good, bro? But nah, that was a tangent.
Nah, freaking. Speaking of Chicago, that you brought Chicago, I was gonna say, you say you from Chicago and everything. What part of Chicago you from?
I'm from the South Side, honestly, man. But I lived in every part of Chicago, every part. But I spent most of my time in the South Side.
South Side, okay.
Yeah, specifically, like,
you know, they say South Side where the best reside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know. But at the end of the day, no, honestly, since I lived outside of Chicago, I got like the outside perspective too, because I've like experienced other places. Chicago is just like one dynamic just city. Like there's no, like, you know, a lot of people used to call it Chirac and stuff like that. It's not as popular as it used to be.
Right.
But Chicago is just so many different things, and I'm just like, damn, like they literally took like one small pocket of some bad shit, and it was like, this is everything.
This is everything. Yeah. I mean, but I think because they sat there, I believe when I was looking at the whole phase, like, you know, I think it was around like 2012, 2013, it was Chirac. You know, they had the Chief Keef phase and everything. When I was looking at it, I think they were paying so much attention to the bad that they were looking at it as bad, right? You know, the drugs and the turn up and the guns and all that stuff and all the street gangs. They were looking at all that stuff. They were so in tune with it, they really wanted to find some good. So with them trying to find good, they started finding the Chance the Rappers, the programs that Chance the Rappers is doing for the music community, the things that Kanye's doing in Chicago for the music community. You know what I'm saying? They started looking more at that Chicago was really built off of jazz. You know what I'm saying? Jazz and music and piano. That's what Chicago was built off of. So now they're starting to pay more attention, and you see like there's artists that are like, we'll say not intellectual, but like they have that conscious rap. We're finding a lot more of that because they're using those sounds. They're using actual instrument sounds or whatever. So, and that's the heart and root of Chicago. I'm not from Chicago, but that's just my research of what I know, videos I've watched, books I've read, and they say they say that Chicago was the place where, like, you know, jazz really started, like sound for soul. You know what I'm saying? So they're starting to look into the good of that, and they starting to see more beauty inside the city other than calling it Chirac. You know?
But you know, that's it's kind of like a gift and a curse, you know, because at the end of the day, even though that's like negative, I feel like good people, if you present something negative, we always gonna get the good out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like there's a lot of good people in Chicago, and I feel like at a certain point, like you see now, like a lot of people that's still there use that and flip the narrative and like, no, it's actually what Chicago is. Right. And it's actually so beautiful. Now it just shows you it's this dynamic place. Like I was just saying, you got the bad shit, you got the good shit. Right. And the good thing that I like about Chicago is that, like, you can actually get away from that shit if you want to. It's not like it's everywhere. Like, I lived in Baltimore.
It's toxic.
I lived in Baltimore one time, and Baltimore is weird. It's like block after block, it'll be good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad.
I was like, so you got a gang here, and then you want some cookies over here. You got a gang here. It's like, hey, you do something.
Yeah, like, at least in Chicago, it's like it's bad right here, and then you got to go all the way down there.
Like you got to go a good distance. You got to go a couple miles. Like it's certain places. Yeah, that's funny you say that, because there's certain places where there'll be a good area of suburbs, like at least 2 cities back to back, and then you got to really go like over little borderline type shit to get to the hoods. You know what I'm saying? And the slums and the ghettos and stuff like that. But by the way, for knowledge, ghettos is something that was with what was it, the Nazis? I think it was. Yeah, it was Nazi. That's what the ghettos is. Like people use the word ghetto, like, oh, that's ghetto, but really ghettos was inside. It's in history. I think it was was it Germans? Germans and Nazis or something like that. They called it ghettos because it was the poor area. Or like, you know, they actually caged them like in that area to keep them from getting into the suburb parts of like, you know, what, you know, life was, you know what I'm saying?
So even now that you say that, thank you again actually for putting me onto that. Goddamn. But
I gotta go read it back or whatever. It's been some years, but I'll be reading up on history and shit like that.
Yeah, but now that I think about it, that's kind of how ghettos function now. It's like, you know, separate, real off to the side. They ain't necessarily a gate, but you definitely know when you cross that line.
Right, exactly. You know, you see the difference, like the color, the mood, the clouds, the sun, everything's went low. You like, damn. Like
why
it
are so
you see,
gray now?
it's all sunny and shiny over here and everything. I walk over here and like, damn, it's about to rain. What the fuck going on? Like the storm over here? Why I look so sad? Why the air smell so smoky? Right? Like, what's going on? But now, so we got the time to go ahead and find out who you are. So now, let's find out about what you do. Because like, I sat there and I had to, you know, prep up and read about you, and bro, you got some talent. I gotta give my props to you, man. Oh, bro, you do some dope animation, man. Some dope animation, bro. Like, you know, R.I.P. to the late great Nipsey Hussle. You know what I'm saying? Yo, bro, you did that. Like, I sat there and I was looking at that and I was like, wow, because I actually been keeping up with Nipsey like before his death. You know what I'm saying?
Same, yeah.
And I'll be listening. I more so listen to his interviews and his words and his movement, what he was doing, opposed to his music. I hear his music every once in a while, but I was watching what he was doing in the streets. You know, changing his community.
The actions,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So,
you see on TV.
So I'm like so hip on the whole Nipsey Hussle movement with like, you know, the marathon continues and everything. You feel me? So what I would like to ask you, when you sat there and you painted that, or you animated that, put that together, what was your ideal feeling? Like, what was your overall message that you want to give out to the world when you did that?
So a lot of times when I do things of people that I admire or aspire to be like, I try to find like one, before I even get into like the meaning of it, like the best pose that actually like exhibits who they are.
Right.
Because you know, like, say for instance, like if someone took a picture of you and like someone chose to animate one of the goofiest pictures you ever had, that picture, although it's a side of you, it's not all of you. Right. And I try to find like what picture itself tells more of the story than I even need to. Right. Because like one thing I learned when I was living in Baltimore, I was actually going to art school, and I had a teacher named Rex Stevens. He told me, he was like, make sure anytime you do something that has like multiple layers to it, like it has multiple meanings or whatever, make sure if they didn't even know everything else, it still stood on its own. Facts. So I was like,
it's like kind of like your image, just you gave the message or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I feel what you're saying.
Yeah. So with that, I was like, man, I really want to find something that like shows Nipsey in like his best right. And I kept seeing like a lot of people, because you know everyone's gonna do art, and but everyone has their own reason for it. Everyone has their own thing for it. And I was like, I want to do it also. But I saw the picture of him on the side and it had the tattoo prolific.
Yep.
And I was like, you know, that's the best thing. Yeah, exactly. I was like, that's the best thing to capture him for. Because there's so many different layers to him. And one thing I found out that's so like interesting to Nipsey and to like a lot of great people who passed the hip hop is that everyone's so multi-layered. Yeah. But they're all so gangster.
Exactly. Yeah. they got the gangster in them, but they got knowledge too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like they obviously lived a life. They're not hypocritical. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be hypocrite and try to preach, like I said, like they weren't in the streets doing what they were doing or whatever. They're gonna sit there. Yeah, they're walking testimony. They're gonna give them, shine light on what they used to do and how it's wrong, but we did what we had to do. But this is the easier way to go, or this is a better way to go. Let's go ahead and stop violence. Let's stop the BS. Let's try to find different outlets. Let's find out different outreach to get you guys. You know what I'm saying?
No, for real. And not the funny thing. I don't know why I was thinking that, but the crazy thing is when he actually passed away is that I'm not a crier. I've cried maybe genuinely one time in my life, just on some social programming shit.
I only cry when it's funeral.
Yeah, but like legit, like I actually like kind of felt it, and it's crazy. I've never met Nipsey.
Just his name.
And I was just like, wow, that's wild. But ultimately, the one thing that I thought that was like so cool about it is that like we don't die, we multiply. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So like when he passed away, I saw like all the union people like getting together, and I'm like, man, as hard as this is for like not only his family, you know, aside from us, like we're affected because we're inspired. Right. We're not affected because we were loved by this person. Right. You know, it's different, super different. So imagine if this person was actually in our life, it would be even crazier. So I'm just like, man, like it's again, like I keep saying, like when we was talking about Chicago, finding the good within that bad. Right. Because you know, like I love too just how like every time I think like specifically in like black community, when someone dies, we always say like they wouldn't want us crying right now. We gotta celebrate.
Listen, I be telling people all the time, yo, day I die, I don't want y'all crying. I want y'all to celebrate. Y'all know how I celebrate. Y'all know how I get down. So I want y'all to have a good time. Act like I'm still here. Don't sit there and, you know, don't sit there and make it seem like, you know, I'm not there and this is the end of me. Because when you crying and everything, that's like you saying goodbye. You never cared. I want you to act like I'm still here. You know, we still rocking now. It's just another day. You gonna see me tomorrow. Shit, my spirit gonna live on.
It's like that NERD, bro. I gotta throw it up one time, man. Energy never dies.
Hey, it never dies. Never.
Energy never dies.
So, well, let's talk about that. So, how do you feel about, like, you know, how you feel about the music scene inside of Orlando?
I like it, man. You know, when I first got here, I can't front. I was very critical of it. I guess because I didn't have any understanding.
Right.
You know, and I think that's always the root to anybody being super critical or about anything. It's just like lack of understanding. And I think the more time I spent here, and the more people I met, and the more experiences I was having on an individual level. Yeah. I was just like, man, this city is beautiful, and it's shaping me so much, even as a person.
It's like the Orlando scene is like turned into like a city of unity. Like everybody started, at least the right people are starting to unify, and they see the bigger picture of what the bigger purpose is. You know, trying to really build something. And the reason I asked you about the Orlando area with the music scene is because you just dropped a song called Moxie. All right, so, and you actually did the video yourself with the animation. So I want to ask you, what was your purpose for that song? Like, what's the meaning of that song?
So Moxie, so I'm working on an EP called Mister Darrell. Okay. It's just basically like a cool introduction to the world to me. Okay. And every song, it's only 4 tracks. It's a very short and sweet EP. But I was like, with every song, I want them to really see the elements of who I am. It's like north, south, east, and west. You know what I'm saying? Right. See every direction of who I am. And like this one song, Moxie, is just one element of it. And it's actually a synonym to the word courage. And I don't want to use the word courage because I thought if you have a song and it's named Courage, you'd be like, man, I'm not trying to hear this. I just know how the average person thinks, you know? And I was like, let me just say Moxie. Because at the end of the day, Moxie 1 kind of sounds cool.
It does.
And then it's like, after you like find out, oh, Moxie, now you're interested, you're gonna click on it, see what the hell it's about. Right. And at the end of the day, like, Moxie is just about courage, you know, just having the courage to really step out and be who you are, because I believe the most gangster thing anybody could do is believe in yourself. Facts. Because it's so easy to be mad, it's so easy to be insecure, it's so easy to be lazy. All that shit's lazy. But to get up every day, do what you do. The same thing every day, to try to chase one dream because you believe it will work. But not only be like in denial, you know this shit gonna work. Yo. That shit is so gangster.
That is real shit, that is gangster. And let me ask you, what was your idea process for the video, like with the animation? What was your thought on that?
You know,
I seen a couple funny cartoons in it and everything, so I was trying to figure out, what was your thought on that?
Yeah, so the funny part is, when I first started the animation, I had like a whole thing. I was like, I'm gonna do this, and then like as I was working on it, because it took me a decent amount of time, because so much in life was going on at the same time. But as I'm going through these different phases while working on it, I'm also like illustrating my life. Slash like some of the memes and things I was seeing at the time. So you was enjoying it? Yeah, bro. Like I got into a car accident during the process of making that shit. What? And there's a scene in Moxie where there's actually like a car accident.
Yeah, I seen that. That's a crazy thing to say that. That's
like,
wild.
When I animated that scene, I was going through that shit.
That's crazy, bro. So he's like, yup, I'm good now. My back hurt. All right, let's edit this. Let's put this in there now.
Yeah, like the situation, the car accident itself was obviously super trash experience. But again, it's just like always find the good in that shit.
Oh, you got a big bug. Whoa. Yeah, hey, nobody invited you over here to the Photo Culture interview, bud. Yeah, good bug. Be on slow right now. He tripping. But nah, so you say you got your Mister Darrell project dropping. You got a date that you're gonna be dropping that?
I really want to drop it on my mother's birthday.
Where's that?
I'm gonna keep that anonymous.
You know, Mom, see, I tried to get him. Say your mama's birthday.
Yep, keep it anonymous. Cause honestly, like, one, because I wanted to be kind of a surprise when it released, but also I gotta get consent from her. My mom is like, I got a Jamaican mom, bro. She'd kick my ass if I just be like, yeah, your mom.
I know, trust me.
It's like, let me get out my information.
Hell nah, I feel you on that. That's crazy. So, one last question I'm gonna ask you. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years with your talent?
Happy and prosperous.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm definitely a planner. We all are planners, but I believe I just honestly, like, I'm learning to go with the flow of life, and I'm gonna react to whatever's going through there. Just like I just told you, I had the car accident, like I turned into the animation. So whatever life throws at me and whatever I manifest through life, I'll just, you know, continue rock and roll and just be happy and prosperous. That's it.
Hey, I can't even be mad at that. That sounds like the plan for real. I love my brother, Mr. Darrell. Darrell, it was nice meeting you. It was nice sitting down with you doing this interview.
Yes, sir.
We definitely got to link up again. I'm gonna have to get some animation from you for damn something.
And make sure, May 7th, Loud Gallery, 9 to 10 o'clock.
You heard him.
Come.
Make sure you
out the
pull
dough,
up.
have some fun, bring a friend or two. Also, the 50th person gets $50, and if you bring 3 people, it's only costs 10 for all of y'all.
Oh wait, hold on. Run that back. So the 50, I'm trying to get the $50. So
Yeah.
the 50th person gets $50. The 50th person to show up.
The 50th person gets $50, and it's 3 for 10. So if you bring yourself and 2 other people, all y'all get in for 10.
Wow, that's a win-win. Yo, that's like $2.50, $3.50, $3 a person. Okay, yeah. So yeah, $3.25. Oh yeah,
Shopping at work like
that sounds like a deal. I might have to go ahead and give me a little team. The best way to win this, get you a team of about 4 or 5 people, have them come, and then when they come, they let you know, yo, I was this number person. Y'all go ahead, y'all chill, wait to that 50 spot. Gonna have to split it. Don't be greedy.
At the end of the day, like, although we all want to make some money, it's really about just like cultivating a real fan base and having people come through and have some fun.
Exactly.
And it's the feel good show because I want y'all to come through and feel good. This ain't no pretentious shit. This ain't no come through and be on no meme mug shit. We come through, we feel
having
good,
a good time. You got a DJ and all that going on?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
DJ, what is his name? JG3.
JG3?
Yeah.
I think I heard of him.
My mind was a little off. I was sorry, I'm smoking some gas. You know?
Hey,
I was
good
like,
gas, always top shelf.
I went Stevie Wonder for a second.
Hell no. Well, look, man, hey, again, appreciate you coming out for the interview. Yo, this is For the Culture Talk Show. It's your boy Sauce God Clutch, and that's a wrap on this.